it's pretty clunky, right? And remember what I said earlier, the more dirt you get through, the more possibility that is that you're going to eventually come across those golden keywords. So that's what these paid keyword tools are really good at. You don't need them. You don't absolutely need them if you're strapped for cash and you have to sort of bootstrap your keyword research. This is a great way to do it. But I'm going to show you really quick that it might actually be worth it if you're serious about this to invest in one of those tools. I use two. I initially started using Market Samurai, but I've been more recently using Longtail Pro for a couple of reasons. One, it's a lot easier to teach with because it's just simpler to use and a lot of less advanced features as Market Samurai. But I also love it because it shows a lot of the more updated sort of rankings like Moz Rank and Domain Authority and Page Authority, which Market Samurai doesn't show. So let's go into Longtail Pro right now, and I'll show you how that looks like and how we can run keyword research much faster, and hopefully we can land on some potential keywords. All right, what's up? We are in Longtail Pro right now, and actually you're looking at Longtail Platinum. It's sort of the premium version of Longtail Pro, which costs an additional monthly fee. Not necessary, actually. I've had the Pro version for so long now, and I've successfully used it to find keywords. You may find that you may not need it, although I will share what some of the Platinum features are at the end of this video to see if it might be something helpful to you. It just makes the keyword research process even faster, but I think you'll see as I go through this as if it were Longtail Pro, just how much faster this is than doing it sort of manually. So what I'm going to do is actually going to create my first campaign, and I'm going to use the same seed keywords that we used when we ran the Google Adwords keyword tool at the very beginning. So what I'm going to do is hit create your first campaign. I'm going to name this NSD 2.0 Wave 1. And the language will be English. The country is United States. Now, if you are building a website in another country and you want to target the sort of search volume for that particular country, maybe you're building a website specifically for something in that country, you can select a different country here, and that's what I would recommend. But moving on, show results for, I never click this. If you click this, you're only going to show ideas really closely related to the seed keywords you put in. I like to sort of have things be broad and be able to see other keywords that I may not have even thought of before as a result of leaving this unchecked. And then as far as devices, desktop and laptop devices is probably the best route. So I'm going to click Create Campaign. And conveniently up here it says Add Seed Keywords. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I think before we had housekeeper, we had bartender, we had cook, and we also had janitor. I think those were the four that we picked up. And I'm going to add those. Now, if you wanted to delete these and add more, you can. You can just click on the X here or add more here. Now, you want to do a maximum of 5 here because if you do too many at a time, it's going to overload Google AdWords, and Google AdWords may sort of kick you out a little bit just temporarily because you're overusing their system. Now, one thing to make sure, you want to make sure you're logged into Google AdWords. If you're not, just click on this button here. It'll say log in. That'll give you access to all the features that logging into Google AdWords will give you, which is where Longtail Pro and also Market Samurai, that's where they all get their data from, is Google AdWords. So make sure you're logged into Google AdWords. Now, before I move on, I want to make sure that I'm on exact match. Do not use broad. And phrase, there's debate about whether to use phrase or not. Just make it clear, just use exact. Now, down here, you can enter your own keywords if you want. If you want specific data for exact, not necessarily using it as a seed keyword, but just the keywords that you want to put in. Maybe you found a list of keywords somewhere, you just want to get the data for those keywords. You can put that in here, but I don't have any of that right now, so I'm not going to put it in. That's just optional. Under fetch additional data, you can get things like the domain ability, whether there's a .com, .net, or .org available for those specific URLs or keywords, and I'm not going to click that. It takes a long time to get all that data. Google titled competition and big title competition, I never click. But I do go to apply filters, and I apply the filters beforehand so that I can just not even look at the keywords that aren't matching my criteria. So for example, I'm going to click on average local searches, just like we did with Google AdWords keyword tool. I'm going to go from 3,000 to 100,000. And average CPC, I want it to be above $1, and that's it. So from there, what I'm going to do is click on Generate Keywords. And what that's going to do is it's going to find all the related keywords for all these seed keywords that we put in here and apply these filters, and it's going to show us the results. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to take a while. As you can see, it's going through housekeeper right now, and then it's going to go through the other ones that we did. And so what I'm going to do is actually just fast forward over time, just so we can look at the data right away. All right, so here are the results. It took about 2.5, 3 minutes to get all this. And as you can see on the bottom here, it says 3,027 keywords have been filtered out. I mean, that's crazy. And what's left over are 94 keywords that meet our search volume criteria. Now, Google AdWords keyword tool showed us the same stuff. But what's really cool is when we start to run SEO competition analysis, which you can simply do by clicking on each of these keywords. So I'm actually going to scroll down to one here that we're quite familiar with already, which is bartending school. The numbers match what we had in Google Adwords keyword tool, and I'm going to click on that. And what happens is it runs a competition analysis by showing us the top 10 in Google, the title of each of those pages, and also all the data that we need to know for each of them, including the page authority, which is just how authoritative that page link is. Remember, we got that through Open Site Explorer before. Page links and juice page links. Page links are the number of links pointing to that particular site, and juice page links are more sort of authoritative sites that are pointing to that particular page. Then there's domain authority, which isn't quite as important. Then the all familiar Moz rank, which we had before. Then also page rank and the site age. Site age isn't quite as important either. If you want more information about each of these, you can just hover over it for some basic information. But as you can see here, and don't look at KC for now, that's keyword competitiveness, and that's a handy number that Spencer's created for the platinum version. You don't need that. I wasn't using that before, although it is sort of helpful. Page authority, you can see there's the top two are 50, 4, and 45, and 38. Those are quite high. You know, you'll see a couple 27s and 28s, which are reachable. But remember, we had typed this into Google, and you should do that. Even if you're using paid keyword tools, you should type these keywords into Google to see what comes up, see what ads come up, to also see what the local search results are going to be like. And remember, we wanted to maybe get in one of the top 2 spots, and it looks like the top 2 spots here are really competitive. I mean, the page authority is quite high. It's in the mid-50s. Again, we want, 20 to 30 would be even better. Page links, anything over 100 or 200 is going to be something worth, putting up a red flag for. I mean, 889 page links here, 2,077. You can actually click on each of these to open Site Explorer to get information about each of the links pointing to each of these sites. Juice page links are the more authoritative sites that are linking how many links from authoritative pages are coming over. Domain authority, not quite as important, but as you can see here, Moz rank is quite high, like we had mentioned before, 5, 5.5, 5, 3.5, 4.2, 4.0. It's quite high. So looking at this, I would immediately just go back to my keyword research tool and click on the next one. As you can see here, page authority 50, 44. It looks a little bit better here on the lower half of the top 10 in Google. Not very many page links, not very many juice page links. The page authority is quite low. But again, is this something that we really want to rank for? A bartender game, most of which are free. How would you make money from it? We did the research on that already, and there was a board game on Amazon that we could sell, and that's it. So I would move on. Again, there's a lot of things beyond just what you get in all these tools. Again, I would type each of these keywords into Google just to get a feel for what's going on. So it's really easy to do this. Just click on each one of these and sort of try to make an educated guess based on the numbers here. Look at this one. This one is drink recipes. And when you think about that, that's definitely going to be one that a lot of people are already building sites about. So the top site here is a page authority of 72. 72, 65, 72. I mean, look at the page links going to these sites. They're in the tens of thousands. This one here is 6 figures. I mean, that's crazy. The Moz rank is quite high. It's in the high 6s, high 5s. There are sprinkles, and you can see anomalies every once in a while. A lot of times these are for really high authoritative sites like Wikipedia. This one's for Google Play. Sometimes when you see 1 for page authority and then 100 for domain authority, it just hasn't registered yet. It's just there because Google ranks those sites really high because of the domain authority. That's why Wikipedia is always ranked higher than a lot of other sites. So let's just keep going. Keyword research, boom, mixed drinks. How's mixed drinks look? I can already tell. I mean, this is very competitive. I mean, it's even more competitive than those first ones for bartending school and bartending game that we looked at. Boom, next one. Drinks, cocktails. I'm not even going to look at those. I'm going to delete those because I know that those are competitive already. Drink mixer, UPC code. Let's try barcode generator. A little bit better. Nothing in the 70s, but as you can see, page links are definitely in the thousands here. Again, we want something that is, under 200 in most of them. And once you start to see something that is a little bit less competitive, yeah, you can actually go into each of these sites, check them out, and see what you can do to outrank them. Go into their backlinks, see where their backlinks are coming from, and see if you can get better backlink coming to your own site when you create your site. So that one didn't work. Alcoholic drinks, I'm not even going to look at here. DJ software. Again, high authoritative sites. Move on. Cooking classes. I'm imagining this one's pretty high as well. 68, 45. Look at the page links coming to this site. And again, a lot of these sites are probably paying a lot of money to get all these backlinks and rank really high. And again, it's going to take a long time. This is what keyword research is all about. We're just digging through the dirt right now, and it just takes a long time. So don't get discouraged. And actually, you'll find that a lot of you will probably get addicted to this, especially using these tools. You're going to just randomly think of things to put in as seed keywords. And again, we just put 4 in, but we have 94 keywords to go through. And just imagine doing all this by hand or manually going through each of those SEO competition analysis things. How about this? Easy recipe for kids. Here we go. This is obviously a little bit less than those other ones that we were just looking at. 46 is the top site, but it's still pretty competitive. I mean, if you look at some of the lower ones on here, there's a lot of page links. Now, these page links are probably page links coming from less authoritative sites. That's why there's a 20,000 here on number 10 and then 74 on the top. But, you know, there's a lot of anomalies and, you know, there's a lot of factors involved. But, you know, you'll see when there's a keyword that seems to be open that there might be some room for you there. You'll see it. It's going to look much different than all the other ones. And they're out there. You just have to keep digging deeper. Cooking games for kids. Now this one looks a little more promising. The page links scare me a little bit. The page authorities are a lot cleaner. And I guess now is a good time more than ever to start talking about this platinum feature, which is called keyword competitiveness. And this is a handy tool, an algorithm that Spencer has created in this tool to give you a quick snapshot of the competitiveness, the overall competitiveness based on just all this whole grid here on how this keyword is. And you know, a lot of those other ones that we looked at earlier, like if you were to look at something really competitive like how to cook. I mean, you can imagine that page authorities in the 70s here, even in mid first page. So the keyword competitive is going to show up here after it calculates all this. That's 57. Now, anything under 30 or around 30 is pretty good. So what was that other one we did? It was cooking games for kids. This one had, I think it was 30. So 30 is a lot easier than 57. And what's cool here is if you wanted to, you know, if you're going to use KC or keyword competitiveness as a way to determine whether that's a potential keyword you should explore even further, you can actually go through each of these really quickly by just clicking here on calculate the average KC, and it'll take like 5 seconds or so, and I usually click 5 at a time. I don't want to do too many and overload the system, but what it's going to do is it's going to go into that competitor analysis thing for you and find the keyword competitiveness number. So here we go, 58, 46, house cleaning is 39, which is a little bit less competitive. So as you can see here, the least competitive out of these 5 is house cleaning, but there are more local searches than for house cleaning services. So house cleaning would definitely be a better keyword to go for than house cleaning services, interestingly enough. But again, this is in the high 30s. I would shoot for something under 30 if possible, maybe mid 30s if you're ambitious. And yeah, this is just what I would do. So let's do this again. Let's create a new campaign just to see if we can find something. And I'm going to run through this until I find a good one to show you just what it looks like. So I'm just going to add a new campaign. So NSD 2.0 wave 2, and keep all that the same. Create campaign. I'm going to go to campaign settings and type in some seed keywords. And actually, I'm just going to start with one that I know has some interesting data for because I want to speed things up a bit. So I'm going to put in wedding rings here, and I'm going to put in exact and apply the same filters that we had before. 3,000 and 100,000 max for local searches, average CPC of 1.00 or $1. Click generate keywords. It's going to fetch that data for wedding rings. And again, you want to put in 5 seed keywords so you can get the maximum number of keywords and related terms in there as possible, so you can pick up more dirt and find those keywords. But I'm just doing this for the purposes of speeding things up a bit because there is some interesting data here that I want